Torch, just a couple of days ago, we were, I was joking around with you about attention span with players, and you were talking about how you had to cut down your video because they don't concentrate very long these days. And lo and behold, the theme coming out of the loss on Saturday to Nashville was about concentration. And what can you do to get your team to have better concentration throughout the course of a game? As a coach, how do you approach that?
You just constantly reminding them. It's not like we can keep hitting them over the head every shift and talk about that. Let's face it, Bobby, that was embarrassing our last game. We embarrassed ourselves. I'm embarrassed that this is happening right now with our club, how we're playing. So how we approached it the following day, we had a pretty busy day yesterday in meetings, in practice, and then more meetings after. So, hopefully sooner or later it's going to click in, or we got no sniff. We will have no chance.
Yeah, and in any other year, you'd be saying that, and it would be getting a little bit late on the calendar. But this year, it's even more important because of the abbreviated schedule. So it's getting late early, isn't it?
Yeah, we're in trouble here. We need to find some consistency, and so there was a lot of work done yesterday, and I hope it transforms into a better game. And some guys are struggling. Some areas we just have a tremendous amount of youth that we have to develop, and I can't get lost on that a little bit. And where we have to develop some people too. And you're worried about the winning and losing, and we are. But with certain players, I've got to be careful there and not put too much on them because of some of the struggles of other people.
Let's talk about something positive right now. Gabriel Carlsson had to go in for David Savard in that game on Saturday, and he got a goal, and it was the first one of his NHL career. And you and I have had many conversations about, what a feel-good moment that is. It's too bad that didn't translate into getting enough goals to win the game. But for Gabriel Carlsson, this guy's been asked there's been a lot asked of him. I mean, he didn't play a game in like a year or more before he came in and played that, and he was able to pick up that goal. How much do you hope that springboards him as you continue to have him in the lineup here tonight?
Yeah, he's improved too. For all the reports that I've gotten as he got healthy, I mean, we had that back. He's just missed so much hockey. But we've gotten some really good reports as he started playing again down in the American League that his game is coming. Remember, when he first stepped in, he steps into the playoff series against Pittsburgh, and I thought handled himself very well.
Yeah, he didn't step in. You threw him right into that one.
Yeah,
let's get it right.
Yeah, we tossed him in there. That's for sure. And so there's something there. And I like the way he played. It's nice he scores a goal. I'm looking at other things, but he scores a goal. He's been patient. He's worked hard. He'll be playing. He's in a top 4 role tonight with the amount of injuries we have on our back end. Savvy will come back in, and he's going to probably be paired with Savvy, and Gabby and Jonesy be paired, and that's going to be our top 4. So he's going to get some ice time tonight.
Well, that'll give you a pretty big pairing there, and Savard and Carlsson. Savard more the bigger, wider body and a tall guy, and Carlsson a big guy. How much do you need them to just be defensive? We've talked about your defense is a problem, and I know it's not just those 6 guys. The forwards contribute to that, but how much do you need that, especially out of a pair like that?
Yeah, I especially with Carly, and I think Peeker falls into this category too. I think they end up trying to do too much at certain times, and instead of just letting the game come to them, and just keep it in front of you. Be in the good ice. Let them come from the bad ice to you in the good ice. Don't you be in the bad ice and chase them in the good ice. And I look at that goal that Forsberg scored, a very important goal in the third period. Peeker's just too aggressive. He needs to respect that player, and he just can't get beaten to the inside. It was kind of an in-between puck. Do I go for it or not? And that's where just stay back. Just let him come through you. Don't error on that side. Okay, I'm going to get that puck because he's a hell of a player and makes a great move and scores a huge goal. That's a circumstance, I guess, is what I'm defining from all of our young D. And we have a very, you look at our 6D tonight, we're missing a lot of people in that back end. So slow yourself down and let it come to you.
Yeah. How much is Michael Del Zotto's absence going to hurt you? Because he's been, as advertised, everything that you talked about that he is as a player, he's shown that to us this year.
Yeah, I mean, and his Michael, who couldn't find a job, as free agency went along here, has bounced around from team to team. He's playing 18, 19, 20 minutes with us. And so that's a hole for us losing Michael. I mean, that's where we're at with our back end, and hopefully he gets back soon. But he's done a really good job. But I will say he's another guy that sometimes when things aren't going well, he's got to slow himself down a little bit too and let the game come to him and not be as aggressive in certain situations. So that's what we're trying to accomplish. And it's not backing him off. It's just don't get too anxious and chase the game. Let the game come to you. And hopefully we'll see what happens tonight with our D pairs.
When it comes to your forwards, there's a lot of guys I could single out more than likely, but Oliver Bjorkstrand, where's he been for you the last couple of games?
Yeah, he has. That line, him, Stenny, and Gregor had a couple of good shifts. They're probably our best line the last game because they had more shifts than the other guys as far as in the end zone. But it's been inconsistent with Oliver, and we've had problems as we go through our lineup in the middle of the ice, finding someone to play with Oliver too, and Stens is just stepping into the league, and Tex is just trying to find his way, and that affects the wingers too. There's no real big playmakers there right now. I think Jack is, as you see with Jack, what I have him in Cam and Patty, he can distribute a puck. Stens is still trying to get his footing in the league. Tex is a guy that's a dog on a bone, but is still learning how to distribute and make people around him relevant. So, some of it's Oliver, some of it's just where our lineup is right now and having someone play with him.
In that case, is it like Cam Atkinson's there and he's playing with Roslovic? So it's almost like that Bjorkstrand can't be there because Cam's there, right?
Yeah, well, Cam's played so well, and we've been waiting for Cam to get his game to go for a while here, and I don't want to short circuit that. I don't think that line played well at all the last game. So I try to get, like, after a penalty kill, Cam's a penalty kill, I try to get Borky with them and try to give him a couple of shifts with Jack and Patty. That's the line that will come out after we kill a penalty. So I'm trying to get Oliver some other spots to play in. But, we're Bobby, you look at our center ice, it is what it is. We have three inexperienced guys there that are very important to distributing and allowing us to get a little offensive. And we're going to have to be patient. We're just going to have to be patient.
You put Max back in the middle there at the end of that game because Jack was struggling. Did you see anything you liked there?
No, I'm, that's something, Max is going to have to figure this out. I've tried a lot of different ways. I've been very patient with Max through all this. I still don't see a lot of big changes in his game. It's very frustrating to me, and I'm sure it is to Max because, like 2 weeks ago, I sent Max a video of his shifts in Montreal the past couple of years. And I'll tell you what, Max is a really good player. He has not been for us. It has been a struggle for him. And like I've told him, I can see it. I've watched it. I've watched you play, and it's there. Somehow we got to get it out. But I sooner or later, you talk about confidence, you talk about putting them here, you talk about putting them there. Sooner or later, the player has to figure it out and just get something done. And I think that's where I'm at with it right now. He'll get on the ice. I'll make my calls as we go through there, but there's got to be a little onus put into the player also here.
I want to ask you about Patrik Laine, and and I'm going to compare him to Panarin just because they were both superstars on your team. And I can remember 2 times when Panarin was here that during our talks, I asked you if he needed to play better or if he wasn't giving enough at that point. He always looked like he was moving. He always looked like, I don't know if it was because he was a smaller guy and his legs were always churning. I look at Patrik Laine, and in some ways, he reminds me of Zach Werenski, where Zach doesn't look like he's, you've talked about this.
Yeah.
How do you had to get used to? He doesn't look like he's really giving it all, and he's gliding, but he always gets there and he makes the play. Is Patrik Laine kind of like that, or is it just his size that makes him look as though he's slower, for lack of a better term, as compared to Panarin when he played here?
Yeah, I think he can be. See, with Panarin, one of the great attributes of him is he was not only he was a great player himself. He made other people better around him, and that's something some of these superstars you don't see that sometimes in a really great individual player has the ability to make other players better. I think Patty has that. I think Patty can pass a puck. I think he's smart enough. I think he can do that. I think he can make other people better. But right now, Patty's got to worry about his game, because I think you can get fooled by saying Patty isn't working hard, just what you said as far as how he skates. But right now, he's not moving his legs, and he's looking to pass the puck before it even comes to him. He's anticipating a pass to him, and then he's thinking about passing the puck before it even gets to him. I want him to get the puck and get going north. I want him to start moving his legs. I want him to start taking some defensemen on one-on-one. And because I think he can be a really good forward. He could be a power forward and with some great playmaking ability. There's so much potential in him. And remember, I know he's even he said it. He said, that's what I do. I'm the goal scorer. That's what I get paid for. There's more to his game. There's more, because he can make other people better around him. And he's 22. Remember this. He's only 22. He's got a big name in the league. He can score goals, but there is so much more to his game that I see that we're going to try to draw out of him. But right now, he did not play well the last game because his legs are just standing still. He's just trying to distribute the puck standing still, and it's a formula of disaster.
That used to be the measuring stick in the league. The great players were also the guys that could make other players around them great. Just one example, Robbie Brown had like a boatload of goals one year, 40 goals or something, because he played on a line with Lemieux. And if he plays with anybody else, that's not going to happen. But that used to be the measuring
15.
stick. Yeah, right.
15, yeah.
But that was the measuring stick, right? And I don't know if it's still that way in the league.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of measuring sticks that are a little bit different in our league right now. But I tell you, this guy, this Patty, he is. I think he can be special, and some of it's going to have to come from him, because he's going to have to learn that sometimes he thinks he's working hard, but he really isn't, and he's going to have to understand the consistency of the work base of doing it all the time. And then I think all the abilities he has falls into place. There are a lot of players that just do not have his abilities, his shooting, and he can pass a puck. But some of this is work based, and it's not because he's lazy. It's just that he has to realize that I got to go all the time. I've got to be ready to move my legs all the time, and that's something we're going through with him right now.
What are your conversations like with him? Because those Finns are very matter of fact. You talk to Jarmo every day, so does that actually help you dealing with him?
Yeah. Him and I. You go back to all the stuff when I benched him, and we had great communication through that, after that, and right until I'm talking to you right now. I had a conversation with him yesterday about a number of things. He is a guy that I'm what I'm saying, what's on my mind, whether it be good or bad. I'm going to tell you what I think about what's going on, and I think he really understands and wants that. I think he wants to be a great player, and coaches have to try to get him down that road and teach him a little bit about the intangibles and the work habits and all that, and stay on him about that. Then he'll take off from there. I just think he has such a bright future. He has his own personality. which is great. And we just, and I'm not trying to be negative about our club. We don't have a lot of people right now that can get him the puck. Jack can, and our power play is beginning to find him. I think there were opportunities to get him the puck, and we didn't because we didn't see it. He's gonna have to stay patient. He's gonna have to work at his game sometimes when he's not getting the puck.
Well, at least he's helped you solve that problem of getting into the zone on the power play.
Yeah. He can carry a puck. He can beat you one-on-one. He can do a lot of things. So I'm anxious to see how he grows.
Elvis gets hurt again the other night. Another unfortunate injury for him. So now you've got Korpisalo and Kivlenieks, and it happens to come at a time that it gets a little bit busy on the schedule. You got a back-to-back coming up over the weekend, but these are two guys you've had around. Are you still really comfortable with that?
Yeah. Kivy showed us he can play. It's not ideal. He hasn't played in over a year. Corpy's going to run with it here. We gotta gauge Corpy as we play these games, especially when we get to the back-to-back, and then we have some pretty stiff competition coming in behind this too, coming up in the month of March. We've got to gauge him, let him decide how he wants to practice, how many minutes he wants to practice. We got to find out exactly what the length of Elvis's injury is, and just act accordingly. But Corpy's going to run with it here, and we're going to have to make our judgments and let him run with it, and just see what he feels like as we play the games. And
this is where the taxi squad actually benefits you, doesn't it? Because you do have 3 goalies here. So on those practice days, he has that option.
Yeah. And we also, there's another catch to it, Bobby, too. And where with 3 goalies, maybe Kivy plays a little bit before he plays the game with us. Maybe this upcoming weekend. We haven't gotten that far, but, he hasn't played any games. And that's when we can use the proximity of our minor league team is, and use him and maybe get him some ice time there before we throw him into a game with us.
Wow, who'd have thought that COVID protocols would have a benefit for you in any way this year, right?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Hey, last thing I want to ask you about is you've got these 2 games against Chicago where there'll be no fans. By the time you come back home for a game against Detroit, the fans are going to be back in the building. Not a lot of them, but there are going to be some there. How much are you looking forward to? Because we've had so many conversations about the atmosphere, you and I. How much are you looking forward to people being back in the building?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it selfishly for our hockey club. I think it'll help our hockey club. And I'm happy for the people, the people that have not been able to go to games and are dying to get into these venues and bring their, families, whatever it may be. I'm not sure how they're going to run the protocol as far as who comes in. So it's good all around. I know it'll help our players, and I hope the fans have a blast. We have such great fans here. I'm sure it's been very frustrating for them not to be able to get out into these venues.
Well, the good news for you is when you go on the road, they're still not going to let fans sit behind the bench, so you're in the clear.
I'm okay then. I'm safe.
This is the one year you should have been playing in New York, Boston, Philly, and you're not.
No. That's a very dangerous situation there as far as people and no glass. That's not a good situation.
All right, good point. Very good point. Torts, thank you very much. Good luck.
All right, Bobby, be well.